I kind of wanted to come back to this topic for a second as I was sitting there thinking about it. Um, a lot of people when they have their car, they don't realize that there's a lot of things you have to do to maintain that car. That car breathes. That car exhales. That car does a lot of things, just like a human being in a lot of ways. Um, what I noticed is you know, this filter, doesn't look so bad on the front side. So every time you open up the cover, you think you have a clean filter. But once you turn it over, it's a totally different story. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because a lot of times that little filter sits down in that box, and as it's sitting down in that box, it just looks like that. So you don't necessarily know what it really looks like on the backside unless you absolutely take it off. And a lot of times they make these boxes very, very hard to get into. So make sure you pull the filter out. Make sure you look at the bottom of the filter. Make sure you look at the bottom of the canister where the filter sits down. And you can look down in there and you see all that dirt and all this grass and all that stuff down in there. Well, that's got to continually keep getting sucked up into the filter. So you want to get it out. You want to clean it out. Normally get a shop vac. Shop vac it out. You always want to make sure that your canister box is always clean. Weekly inspections. I'm always about that. You're always on top of things. You always want to prevent so that you're not having failures breaking down. The next one that came to me is the butterfly. Now, this butterfly is actually not in bad shape. But if you look in there, you see the little black ring going around that little butterfly. Okay? And you kind of see a little gas kind of seeping back on it and stuff. Now, this butterfly, okay, right here, is your gas. So every time you're pushing your foot feed, that gas, the butterfly is always moving, okay? Whom, whom, that's how it works. So, if you look inside that hole, all right, if you look in there, it is just completely, sooted up with carbon on the backside, all right? Just really, really black. You should clean that out, on a normal basis. It builds up and it just gets really, really nasty. Your car's got to be able to breathe and suck in. So the more dirt that you have in your canister, the more your butterfly is going to be dirty. Now, as I sit there and I was talking to you about all this stuff, about the canister and stuff. Now, my next one is seals. Seals go bad. Seals go bad. Now, I'm going to look down inside that hole right there. Okay, you can kind of see the oil sitting down inside that one. You can see the oil debris sitting down at the bottom. And we'll go to the next one. This one's actually not in bad shape. But seals go bad. Inspections. Pull your spark plug wires off of the spark plugs. Look inside the bores and, make sure there's not oil getting inside there because your rubbers, your little rubber O-rings that go on top of that valve cover are seeping in because they will cause a major, major problem. Now we open up into the thermostat and your thermostat temperature sensor that runs the fans is right there. You can kind of see it off on the back side. There's your, coming up, there's your sensor coming down inside the housing of the thermostat, and there it is. Now, that one's a little bit rough. You can see how it's got white calcification on it. I mean, there's been water inside the engine. Okay? Water creates calcification. Calcification builds up, and then you have problems in orifices, which are very, very tiny holes. A lot of people, they just kind of get in their car and they kind of go and, and just drive them. That's what we do. We're human beings on the world of going, go, go, go. But the biggest thing is if you're always maintaining that piece of equipment, your piece of equipment will not fail you with drastic measures. What happens throughout time is one little thing adds up to another thing and another thing and another thing, and then eventually you have what's called a mechanical nightmare. And that's where you're going to the stores and trying to buy you a new car because this car totally dumped you. You can see right here. Now, these hoses right here are your heater hoses. Okay, they go up and they control the heat that goes inside the car. Now, what I don't get is, if you can tell right there, you can see the calcification on the hoses. Okay, these little tannish colors right here. Okay, like coming up in right here and right up in here. Okay. Now, I'm honestly going to tell you. Now, I will definitely argue with an auto industry because water tears metal up. Okay. Out of all the years of breaking down motors, all the time I always see calcification deposits. I see big calcification buildups in orifices so that you don't get flow of water to cool down the block. So then you get, a blown head gasket down the road. I really don't like to dump water into a car. Even if I'm testing it, I still don't put water in the car because your car is not designed for water. Okay. I usually take an antifreeze jug and I'll take it and fill it up. Well, first you got to buy it, purchase it, all that good stuff. Okay. And then what I usually do is I take the jug of antifreeze. Okay. And we're going to say this is full strength. Okay. This is a full strength antifreeze. Okay. There's no 50-50 breaking down anywhere. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to take it and I look at the jug. Okay, and on that jug it's going to say 3 quarts. Here's your 4th quart right in between here. Okay, now there's your half, there's your 2. Now what I really like to do is I like to take out the 1 quart, which is right here. Okay, so I take out this much right here. I'll take that out, and then I'll put it in another jug, and then I'll break that down, and that gives me a 2 quart jug of 50-50. Now, that's only, in a necessary deal where you're absolutely needing it, because then I have a 3/4 breakdown of antifreeze instead of a 50-50. Because it's not so hard on the engine, because the antifreeze is designed to expand and extract and have the chemical reaction within the engine when it gets hot, so that it can't get past a certain boiling point. Water turns into steam. Steam expands. Steam goes to the closest place to escape. Okay? And I don't know how much I would stress that so much to auto industries, because if you don't have the 50-50 breakdown that you're supposed to, it'll freeze. If you don't have the 50-50 breakdown that you're supposed to, it'll just evaporate. I've seen it happen. The biggest thing is you have to maintain and take care of your car. You have to. If you don't, you have mechanical failures like this car. This car has not ran in a very long time. When I picked this car up, I went through some procedures on it and got it to start, but it didn't start for very long. I did get it here. I told these people that I would save this car, and here we are. I'm breaking it down. But the biggest thing is you definitely have got to make sure you're maintaining your vehicles. In your vehicles, there are an owner's manual. Within that owner's manual, it has a calibration electronically to maintain to that car. You have to change your filter out so often, you have to change your oil so often, you have to reset certain things so often, and you have to. If there are questions about how to reset a certain vehicle, definitely leave a comment and I will come back to that and break that down on specific vehicles, on how to reset things, how to go about making sure that your maintenance is checked up on. And the majority of the time you can do it yourself, so it saves you money. It gets you to know your car, because if you don't know your car, that car is going to fail you. Okay, and that I will stress to the maximum, because you need to know your vehicle if you drive that vehicle. If you don't know that vehicle and how it works and performs and how it works, then you don't know how your car gives you back that love. You don't know how that vehicle actually is to you. Okay, definitely, I think people should go out there and be involved with their vehicle more than what they are. I know that we work a lot and I know all that stuff, but it only takes a matter of minutes. It takes a matter of minutes to actually break down to know that, hey, I have a problem. I need to prevent my car from having a bigger problem. So you got to take care of them little problems. If you don't take care of them little problems, then you have big, major problems. And I can promise you this, that if you maintain those little problems, you will always have your vehicle for a very, very long time.